Do you know what the worst part of my job is? It's telling somebody that's invested hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars into their new brand that they're going to have to rebrand because that new brand infringes on someone already existing brand. It's the worst. Fortunately, there's one thing that your graphic designer or your brand strategist can do to help avoid this entire devastating and expensive scenario. Hello, my name is Montgomery, brand attorney and owner of Off the Mark IP Solutions, where I help clients throughout the United States own their genius by protecting their brand through trademarks, copyrights, and contracts. How are you all today? Listen, if you're not a subscriber, let's fix that by hitting that subscribe button. And if you are a subscriber, it's nice to see you again. So if you followed me for any amount of time, or if you've taken the Own Your Genius Challenge, you know that I am a huge advocate of doing trademark clearance searches before you commit to any part of your brand identifiers. That trademark clearance search is the thing you're going to do to make sure that as you're building your brand, you're not infringing on anyone else. The challenge is that most people, when they're building their brand, they hire outside people. They hire graphic designers and brand strategists, brand developers, and website designers to help them build this brand. And those people don't have an attorney on their team to advise them if whether or not what they're creating is actually going to infringe on someone else's property before you as the client commit and say, yes, I love this. Today I'm going to tell you not 3, not 5, but give you 7 reasons why your graphic designer or your brand strategist needs to work with a brand attorney while they're developing your brand. Are you guys ready? It's a good one. Let's get started. Reason 1. You're hiring that person to create something unique and special for your brand, right? And they're good at that. That's in their realm of genius. However, that person doesn't have the knowledge or the license to advise you or whether or not what they're creating is something that you'll be able to protect and keep third parties off of later in the future. Keep in mind that the United States Patent and Trademark Office, when they're going over your trademark application, they're not just looking for same, they're looking for similar, which means that although your person might have created something that was unique, that's not out there, right? It's not the same as anyone else's. It might be similar to someone else's, and that's what we have to look for during this developmental phase when you bring a brand attorney in. We're going to look and see if it's similar to anyone else's, not just same. And on another note, let me also bring this out. I'm fully aware that there are some graphic designers and there's some consultants out there that tell their clients that they are capable of providing legal advice as it relates to intellectual property and specifically trademarks. They can advise them on whether or not their mark can pass the muster, and they can even help them with the trademark process. But let me just tell you that they can't do that. They can't do that. In order to advise someone as it relates to trademarks or even help them with their application, you have to be a licensed United States-based attorney. And that's not from me, that's from USPTO's website itself. So I just want to tell you that that's reason number 1 you want to work with the brand attorney or have your graphic designer or brand strategist work with the brand attorney, is because we know what to look for as they're building this brand. So they get to stay in their realm of genius with staying creative, and we get to say, hey, this is good, or hey, there's something out there that's similar to this. And not saying that they're doing it intentionally, it can be totally unintentional, but we just need to know before you fully commit to this brand. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2, when your graphic designer or your brand strategist works with a brand attorney like myself, we do the trademark clearance search. That thing I was talking about earlier, we do that before you fully commit to that brand, before you get all happy and say, oh man, yes, I love it. We will be able to tell you whether or not you can move forward with building your brand in that way by performing a trademark clearance search. So that's reason number 2. Reason number 3 is that once the mark is cleared, we can go ahead and start the trademark application process, which would give you even greater protection. So as you are developing this brand and building this brand, you're also protecting it from anyone who might file before you. Because if they file before you, you can be in some trouble. So we might clear the mark and you're all good, but if they file before you, it can still cause some problems. So if we can do all this at one time, oh my goodness, it'll be amazing. Reason number 4, your designer's a relationship with that brand attorney actually establishes and creates a trust and credibility with you as the client. Just knowing that as they're developing this brand, that all this is already taken care of, you can rest easy, right? You can concentrate on other things of your launch rather than worry about whether or not your brand is something that's going to be protected or infringing on someone else's, you know, while you're going through this process of developing your brand, that it's all taken care of. And trust me, I know from experience that clients, when they know and they have that confidence, that the rest, it's like a weight off their shoulders. So that's reason number 4 is that it actually builds trust and credibility between you and that designer. Reason number 5. The more projects your graphic designer or your brand strategist works on with a brand attorney like myself, the more they'll learn about the process, some do's and don'ts, some tricks and things and tips that they can apply to your project and create a better experience. For example, I have a client that I work with who was with an ad agency, and we had a discussion about using terms that are industry standard terms and kind of making that the center of their mark. And I told them that they don't want to do that because they won't be able to eliminate or they won't be able to exclude other people from using that industry standard language. Therefore, their mark will be weaker. So they want to create marks. They want to create their mark around something that's more unique. And now they can take that language, they can take that tip that I gave them and not only use it for that project, but all future projects as well. Reason number 6 that your graphic designer or brand designer needs to work with a brand attorney is because when they work with us, we're going to make sure that in their written agreement, right, they want to make sure they have a written agreement first of all, that they include language that actually transfers their interest in whatever they created to you. Because remember, just because you paid for it doesn't make it yours. So we want to make sure that you have the proper language to transfer those rights to you. And reason number 7 that you want your designer to work with a brand attorney is because it's going to save you time and money. When you get all that stuff done up front, like we've been talking about this entire time, you don't have to worry about someone coming in and beating you to the punch and filing before you. And then now you have to hire an attorney out like myself and pay more money to defend the trademark because you were actually using it first, but you just hadn't filed and things of that nature. You have all that stuff done up front and it saves you money. I know you're like, Attorney Murray, how is paying this extra money? Because the only thing I really wanted was to get my logo on my website or come up with a brand strategy for myself. How is paying this extra money for a trademark really saving me money? Listen, it's always cheaper and more cost effective to take preventative measures than to go and try to fix it in the back end. It's cheaper to go ahead and file your application now than to hire me to come in and clean up something because it wasn't done. And I know this because I work with a few ad agencies and a few brand strategists. So I know firsthand, like what I'm telling you is firsthand knowledge with what I've seen with my relationships with these agencies. And so I know how the clients are feeling and that trust and that confidence that they're feeling. And I also know that these brand developers and these ad agencies, that they are learning something in the process that they're applying to other projects, which in turn saves you, again, time and money because they don't have to come up with an idea or a concept, send it to me, and I'm like, no, you can't use that because they're learning as they go. So it really works out. So like, listen, the next time you're getting ready to hire someone to do your website, your logo, or just develop an entire brand strategy, which I would really like to recommend that you do when you're building your brand. I don't want you just to think about your logo and hire someone just to do your logo, right? Because there's a difference, and I know this from experience because I have a logo. I have my off the mark logo that I've been using for years and I love it. But there's a difference between having someone to say, hey, design me this logo, and then having a conversation with someone and they learning more about your business and the people that you work with, and they create something specifically to draw that type of person in. There's a huge difference. Like I'm going through that now, and I'm like, wow, I wish I would have done that earlier. So I would recommend, if you have the ability to work with a brand strategist, someone to develop your entire brand, from the logos that you use, the font, the colors, your social media presence, like how it's going to look and feel and make it consistent, that you actually do that, right? And if you hire someone like that, ask them, hey, are you working with a brand attorney? And they give you this look like, I don't know what you're talking about. Then send them my way. Give them my information and let us talk so we can create an amazing opportunity and experience for you. All right? My contact information is going to be down below. And let me also tell you this. if you want to learn more about trademarks and copyrights, I'm going to invite you to take my free 5-day challenge. It's the Own Your Genius Challenge, where we're going to talk about trademarks, copyrights, patents, trade secrets. The link for that is below, and you can go ahead and enroll. Enrollment, the challenge is going on like right now. And until next time, I want you to keep building your brand and owning your genius. Take care.